attention because there are way far too many homes, pardon me, that are getting burned down, okay? And that we don't want. So pay attention and take note, okay? Educational purposes only. Let's begin.
Is plugged in that could burn it to the ground. And the scary part, it is not the thing you'd expect. It is not faulty wiring buried in the walls. It is not some freak lightning strike. Most house fires don't start with a bang. They start quietly, with something you walk past every single day and never think twice about. I've spent years around old houses, around inspections, around the aftermath of fires that started over something a $5 fix would have prevented. And the pattern is always the same. It's never the dramatic stuff, it's the boring stuff nobody checks. So today, I'm counting down the 10 things in your home most likely to start a fire, all the way to the number one cause, the one that is almost certainly in your house as you watch this. Stick around for number one, because
Stick
nearly
around,
everyone
guys.
watching
Please
has made this
subscribe.
exact mistake. Let's get into it. Number 10, the old electric blanket. I grew up in the 90s and I have heard a lot of bad stories about these. Heating up, scorching the sheets, catching fire while someone slept. Here's the thing, modern blankets are way safer than the ones from decades ago, but a lot of people are still using the same blanket they've had for 15, 20 years. Folded, crammed in a drawer, the internal wires cracked, and they have no idea. If yours is frayed, if it has hot spots, if it's just plain old, retire it. Personally, wrapping myself in something with a heating element running through it has never given me peace of mind. Inspect it and replace it the second it looks tired. Number 9, your clothes dryer, specifically the lint. This one surprises people.
Okay, guys, I know, right? It surprised me too, but I always clean out your lint filter for every cycle. Do not do 2 cycles without cleaning that filter out, the lint filter. You know, the one that you pull out of your dryer. Okay, let's continue.
People because it doesn't feel electrical, but it is one of the most common house fires in the country. Lint is basically tinder, dry, fluffy, flammable tinder, and it doesn't just collect in the little trap you clean out. It builds up inside the vent hose and in the back of the machine where you never look. A clogged vent makes the dryer run hotter and hotter until something gives. So clean the lint screen every single load and pull
Okay, guys, wait one
that
moment.
vent hose off.
Do you see this right here? You could pull, let's see. This is on the washer. You pull it out from this end and you could clean it that way. But this right here could be cleaned too. I always ensure that mine is clean. Let's continue. It says clean twice a year. Okay, let's continue.
Off and clean it out a couple times a year. 5 minutes. That's the whole fix. Number 8, cheap string lights and seasonal decorations. The bargain bin stuff. The lights you buy for 10 bucks run all season, then stuff in a box and reuse for 5 years. Cheap lights cut corners on the wiring and the insulation. Cracked sockets, brittle cords, and people daisy chain 10 strands together and leave them running all night against a dry tree or a fabric curtain. Buy decent ones. Look for a real safety rating on the box. Don't string a dozen sets end to end.
Guys, I want to say this too as well. Now, when I leave my house, there are certain things that I make sure I ensure that are turned off or I will unplug, whether it's plugged into a surge power thingy or not. Okay, and it's usually a fan or a heater that I unplug when I leave the house, period. Let's continue.
End and never leave them running while you're asleep or out of the house. It's decoration. It's not worth your home. Number 7, space heaters. Now, the heater itself usually isn't evil. The new ones have tip over sensors and overheat shutoffs. The problem is where people put them and how long they run them. People treat a space heater like a mini furnace. They let it run all day, all night, jammed up against a couch, A curtain, a pile of laundry, a bed skirt. That's a portable heating element sitting inches from something that loves to catch fire.
And guys, ensure that your space where you have your heater or fan setting, especially a heater, make sure there's no clothing, no paper, no anything that is flammable that could catch fire and burn your house down, okay? Let's continue.
Give it 3 feet of clear space on every side.
I just said
Put
it.
it on a hard floor, not a rug. And turn it off when you leave the room. A heater doesn't start a fire because it's dangerous. It starts a fire because people forget it's basically an open flame in a plastic box. Number 6, cheap chargers and dollar store cables. This is the
Oh,
modern one. And
this is a good one, guys. These inexpensive chargers that you charge your phone with. If you feel your phone getting hot, guys, 9 times out of 10, you have the wrong insert USB thingy plugged in. You have to make sure that you have the correct one because you don't want the phone exploding in your face or your hand, which has happened over the years. So you want to be safe with that too as well. Let's continue.
and it is everywhere. The $4 knockoff charger, the mystery cable from the gas station checkout. Real chargers have safety circuits inside that shut things down when they overheat. The counterfeits skip all of that to save a few cents. Then someone leaves one charging a phone under a pillow overnight, and that little brick has nowhere to dump its heat. Buy chargers from the actual brand or a reputable name. Don't charge devices under pillows or buried in blankets. And if a charger ever feels hot enough that you don't want to hold it, that's not normal. Throw it out. Number 5, the overloaded power strip. And this one is so common and
Plug
so
in a lot of
misunderstood
outlets.
that it gets its own full video. I'll link it on screen. Here's the short version. Just because a power strip has 8 slots,
Threshold determines the level of power that needs to be detected by the control.
People plug in a heater, a microwave, a mini fridge, all into one $12 strip, and they assume the strip magically adds capacity. It doesn't. The wire in the wall is still the wire in the wall. Power strips are for low draw electronic, your TV, your lamp, your phone charger. If a strip ever feels warm, smells like hot plastic, or has any
Hey guys, you see this right here? This is your on and off switch right here, right? Always flick that off when you leave in the house on your surge protectors, okay? Don't forget to flip this off. I do it every time, kid you not. Let's continue.
discoloration, that is your warning. Unplug it now. Number 4, the loose, worn out outlet. You know the one. You plug something in.
Yeah,
and it
you
just
guys know the
sags.
one, that
You won't
loose
hold
one.
the plug
Change,
anymore.
switch those out too
Most
as
people
well.
shrug and live with it for years. A loose outlet means loose connections inside, and loose connections create resistance, and resistance creates heat right there behind your wall, where you'll never see it until there's a scorch mark. If a plug falls out on its own, if the outlet is warm, or if you ever see a spark when you plug something in, that outlet is telling you something. There's a whole video on exactly which outlet in your house is the most dangerous. I'll put it on screen because the answer surprises almost everyone. Number 3, as cords run under rugs and pinned under furniture. This feels harmless, it's tidy, it hides the ugly cord, and it's one of the sneakiest fire starters there is. A cord gives off a little heat when it's working. Run it under a rug, and that heat has nowhere to go. It builds. Pin it under a heavy couch leg, and you slowly crush the insulation until the wires inside are nearly touching. Never run a cord under a rug or carpet. Never trap one under furniture. If a cord has to cross a walkway, use a proper cord cover made for it. The whole point of hiding it should never be that you also forget it exists. Number 2, daisy chaining. This is when people plug a power strip into another power strip into an extension cord, building a little chain across
Oh
the room.
my.
Every link in that chain
No,
adds
no. This is
resistance
a
and
no,
lets
no,
you move,
guys.
and it lets people pull way more power through that one wall outlet than it was ever designed to handle. The strip might have a breaker, the cord doesn't, so the heat just keeps building somewhere in the middle of your daisy chain. One device, one cord, one outlet. If you're chaining things together to reach a spot or to get more plugs, that's not a wiring solution. That's a sign you need a real outlet put in, which brings us to number 1. Before we get to number 1, let me say this. Everything we've covered so far, people kind of know about. But number one is different. Number one is the thing almost every house in the country has running right now, today, that people genuinely believe is totally fine. It is not. And once you see it, you'll never look at it the same way. Number one, by a mile, the extension cord used as permanent wiring, the forgotten cord, the temporary fix that's been there for 3 years. I love a good extension cord. It's one of the most underrated tools you can own. But here's the mistake almost everyone makes: they treat extension cords like they're permanent. They run one from the house out to the shed. They snake a cheap one behind the entertainment center and never touch it again. They plug a space heater into a thin little cord rated for a desk lamp. Extension cords are designed to be temporary. The thin ones are made for small loads for a short time. The moment you run a high power device through an undersized cord, or you leave one buried and running for years, that cord is heating up the whole length of it, under the rug, behind the couch, inside the wall it's stapled to. And the worst part is how invisible it is. There's no alarm, no smell until there is. Just a cheap cord quietly running hotter than it was ever built to run, in a spot you forgot about, doing a job it was never meant to do.
Guys, I'm showing you this for a reason and a purpose. We've been having a lot of hot days, right? All over America. So, what you want to do is be mindful of this, guys, because we have all these things plugged in. And especially when you have kids in the home, you guys have to really, really be careful of this. Of all the, we're charging phones, we have the refrigerator plugged in, the microwave, the TVs, just everything. So you don't want to overpower your power electrical box that's on your house, because that's what it's going to trigger to start the fire, the massive fire. So whenever you see a massive fire, this is what really happens because it gets too hot. Let's continue.
The fix is simple. If you've had an extension cord plugged in for more than a few weeks, that's not temporary anymore. That's a wiring problem asking for a real outlet. Match the cord to the load. Heavy gauge for heavy devices, and never for a heater. And walk your house tonight and find the one cord you completely forgot was there. Everyone has one. So there it is, a door type. The 10 things quietly trying to start a fire in your home, counting down to that one forgotten extension cord.
Okay, okay, guys. One important thing he just said, and it's very good. Walk your home today. Look at all your outlets and see what's necessary and what's not necessary. And if you have many, many that are plugged into one unit, like a surge protector, come on now, guys. You got to be on top of things because it can happen at the drop of a dime, and fires spread really, really quickly. So you don't want to be a victim of that, okay? So this is to bring awareness, to be alert and mindful of all the things that you have plugged into your wall. Make sure that they're in great condition, and please turn everything off every time you leave the house, okay? And again, please do subscribe so you can stay on top of the needed update information, all in Economic Lifestyle. Thank you.